Monica, we got some...
I follow Linda's recipe to the tea, man. What did you do to it? What are you talking about? It smells fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
That's disgusting.
It's not terrible. The cheese, I don't know. They didn't have the Asiago cheese or Gruyere when I went to the market, so.
Gruyere, Uncle Denny.
Gruyere, Gruyere, whatever. All they had was the cheese in a can, so I used that.
In a can.
Canned cheese. Come on, cheese is cheese. What?
Donnie Wahlberg stars in the hit CBS crime drama Blue Bloods about a family of New York City police officers.
They're good, too. The actor, singer, and producer just started the new season last week after a world tour with the New Kids on the Block. Remember them over the summer? Hello, Donnie Wahlberg. See who you meet in our green room, because Nora, during the commercial break, he was taking down the number. He now wants to go swimming with the sharks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. True, these guys were here, and you ask these questions. How do they do this? And nobody knows anything about sharks. Like, I watch Shark Week every year, and we don't even know how they made anything. It's fascinating. So they just invited me to go on the boat. I'm like, yes, let's go.
They invited you after you said, I want to go, I want to go. No, it was a nice...
I put it out there. I wasn't shy.
No, it was a nice exchange. But let's go back in time to New Kids on the Block, because in the book that's out today, New Kids on the Block, 5 Brothers and a Million Sisters, you said that you were like the kid that got the golden ticket and the contest hadn't started. You were 14 going on 15.
Right, yeah. Well, when I met our soon-to-be music producer, Maurice Starr, as a kid who was known in Boston for producing the band New Edition.
Look at your pictures on
Yeah.
Nice hair, Donnie.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of it back then. It was sort of like, I grew up sort of as a dreamer. I was bus to school with the other members of my group in Boston. It's, it's known as a sort of racist city, or was for a long time, because of the busing controversy in the 70s when white kids were forced into black neighborhoods on school buses and black kids into white neighborhoods. There was a lot of sort of protesting and stuff, but I was on those buses, and it really was what sort of shaped my life. I grew up and going to school with all black kids and Spanish kids and kids of all different races, as opposed to just being in my own neighborhood. And I got to, learn to dream and to imagine, greater things for myself than I probably would have just, being around the neighborhood with my friends and my older brothers and just, imagining when I'm going to steal my first car like my older brothers were doing.
I come from a family of 9 kids.
I know, and I have to ask you about that, because several members of your family are also in the entertainment business. A lot of people, of course, know Mark Wahlberg, your brother, and others. What was that like growing up with so many siblings, and how did you all become so active?
It was pretty interesting growing up with 9 of us. I think the fight was always for a little bit of attention. I think that's sort of why I sort of gravitated towards the spotlight a lot. I think I always found at an early age that, getting positive attention worked for me. I think sometimes when you grow up in a big family and the parents are struggling to get by, we had it pretty tough. There were times when, they were shutting the water off out front, and the 9 kids and my dad and the dog were chasing the water department away. Say, get out of here! And, we had it tough, but, I always found that, positive reaction was a good way for me to get attention, but other kids don't. Sometimes in the struggle to be noticed by your parents, kids do the wrong things, and I think some other brothers and sisters made those choices sometimes.
And the family has a restaurant, Wahlburgers, where I hear the burgers are great. I'm just curious about what you think makes a good burger, and then I do want to ask you about Blue Bloods.
It's the cheese. We grew up...
I say it's the meat.
Free cheese. Well, the meat is critical, but the cheese, we grew up with the free cheese. We used to get free cheese and free peanut butter and, all the government aid foods. But we use the same cheese from those early days in our childhood because it just melts the best on it.
Is it American cheese? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yes, cheddar's always good.
Free cheese.
On Blue Bloods, the executive producer Leonard Goldberg said this about you, that you're the engine that drives the show. I'm thinking that's a very nice thing to say. You feel that, Mr. Engine?
Coming from Leonard Goldberg, that's an amazing compliment. He's very accomplished. He's a legendary producer. But being on a show with Tom Selleck, it's hard to ever take credit for being the engine. I may help put some wind in the sails, but, Tom Selleck is a great leader for us, and he's an amazing example. He's been doing it for so long. And just to work with him every day, it's a real treat.
You live tweet through a lot of the shows, which is really interesting. How do you deal with some of the negative tweets?
You know what? Twitter's really helped me because growing up as a kid in the spotlight, I wasn't ready for the negative stuff that comes along with it. I would read criticisms in the local papers where I grew up. I wanted to be in those newspapers, and now I am for all the wrong reasons. And all I was doing is making pop records, and I'm splashed on the pages for this and all these wrong deeds. But Twitter, sort of as an adult, has helped me because I realized if I shine a light on the one negative comment and don't pay attention to the 3 million positive ones that come in, I'm bringing attention to the negativity. So I've learned to ignore the bad stuff and focus on the good stuff, and I have the power to eliminate the negative stuff if I choose to, and that's what I choose to do.
God, please tell me how to do that, because I'll get one negative one, and that's the one that sticks with me all day long. It's true.
Yeah, well,
you're doing it right.
Yeah, it's at the expense of all the people who love you.
You're right.
So,
well, thanks. No, thank you, Donnie. Good to see you. Continued success. Friday nights, Blue Blood. It's a great show. Friday nights at 10 o'clock, 9 Central, right here on CBS. Film critic David Denby